what I wanted to do with the film, turning the graphic novel into a screenplay and then a film, is first of all play a little bit with the timeline, because in the book it actually takes over several chapters that go forward several months in time. So there's a jump after the funeral, there's a jump about 3 or 4 months before we then go into a set of committee meetings which determine who's going to succeed Stalin. And though that works linearly as you're reading the graphic novel, I didn't think it made for a movie, in that time jump actually took a lot of the momentum out of the action. So what I did was I sort of tried to telescope everything into the same timeline. So actually the struggle for who's going to take over happens at the same time as they are planning and carrying out the funeral. And in fact, we have the climax of the film, which is the actual power struggle, the final coup, takes place during the funeral. Khrushchev and Beria are the two protagonists, really. They're the two kind of personalities clashing. Beria in the graphic novels are much more macabre, much more he's the fascinating one. In the film, we have to make Khrushchev equally as important and give him make him a bit more three-dimensional, especially if you've got a great actor like Steve Buscemi playing him. So you have to make it really a clash of equals. And then you've got the rest of the Politburo, and they have to come a bit more to the foreground, especially once you start casting them and actually realizing that you've got nearly 90 minutes, 100 minutes to play with here. So the dialogue has to be much more flowing. There's lesser reliance on just the image, the visual set piece, although there are quite a few that I've tried to copy in the film and replicate. But the dialogue is, and also I suppose my background is writing, and the dialogue for me is important for the characters. So that's where a lot of the hard work went on. First of all, that's restructuring it. But fundamentally, all the beats that are in the graphic novel, I wanted to follow in. I could just see it was a perfect story. So I tried to hold on to that, and I tried to hold on to the tone of the humour and the grimness as well. I mean, what the graphic novel does, and which I really liked, was not only do you see these thugs battle it out within the Kremlin, but you actually see scenes all across Russia, how their decisions are actually impacting on real lives, innocent lives all across the Soviet Union. And that's something we put in the film as well. We made sure that we had scenes, just little momentary scenes, little fragments that showed you people in the gulags, people being rounded up, informers, people being released, and then the crowd disturbances outside the funeral, and again, this happened in real life. 1,500 people died in those disturbances. And I think the book and the film, I think, wanted to respect that in a way and not play with that kind of reality.